Hello and welcome. My name is Samer Audi, and in this short video lesson I will provide a quick reference to HTML or the hypertext markup language. HTML is a relatively easy language. In fact, it's one of the easiest programming languages you will learn. It's the language that allows us to create web pages. So as you see, I'm using Notepad, a normal text file, and I will provide the syntax and the rules of the language. So as the browser reads this text file, it will encounter what we call markup. So the markup is something that looks like this: less than sign, greater than sign. So this is what we call a tag or an element in HTML. And the main element is HTML. So a tag or an element may contain content, and therefore it has a start and it has an end. So basically what you see here in front of you is the parent, the root element in any HTML document. So an element less than, the name of the element, and then greater than. To close an element, I will do the same thing, but I will put the / here. So a common mistake for beginners is that they sometimes forget and put the / here. Well, let's see if you're the browser and you're reading this. You're telling the browser, I'm starting an HTML document, and then I'm starting an HTML document again. So basically, this is wrong. So the first thing you need to encounter in a closing element is the /. So in HTML, we have a parent-child relationship, and the root or the parent of them all is HTML, and it has two main children. Head, again, we're going to close it in the same way, and body. White space doesn't really matter in the HTML document, so I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this, and it's all the same thing. Okay, so right now I have the root and I have two children, head and body. As you see, head and body are equal, they're sibling. So if head has an element inside it, that element would be a child. So head does have an important element called title, which, like the name suggests, it's the title of the document. Okay, so for now, as I said, it's a quick reference, and therefore we will not dig deeper into other elements inside head. But body is the main document. This is the web page that you actually see. So anything that you want to be displayed on your web page is typically inside the body element. So I can write text, and the web browser will simply display the text. Now let's say I want to go on a new line and I want to write something else, literally. So what happened in this case, the browser will not display them on two different lines, simply because anything that I need to happen, I must provide instructions to the browser. Therefore, if I wanted to go on a new line, I need a line break, then I need the instructions, and that is an element called BR, which stands for a break. Now, this is what we call an empty element. That means it's not an element that looks like this, and therefore it has content inside. No, it's an element that doesn't involve content, and therefore you can open it and close it within the same tag, either like this, or what I like to do is to close everything. So the / is the special character inside the tag that tells the browser, I'm closing this. This is over. Okay, so I can put this BR here, or I can put it here. It will do the same thing. I can put it here, again, it will be the same thing. So most of the elements are non-empty, like HTML, like head, like body. They have content. They're like a box, and that content can be normal text or it can be other elements. So let's go over few of these elements. So I'm going to use the H1 element here, and the H1 is a heading 1. So it's like a title, and therefore it has two instructions in it. It has the instruction to the browser to display it as big text, so it will be the font or the text size will be bigger than the normal text, and also it will be on a line on its own. That means if I write anything here, this anything here will appear on a new line, because H1 will display its content, in this case Samer Audi, on a separate line as a title. Okay, so there is H1, H2 up to H6. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. You can use them as you like. Another typical element is the paragraph. Sometimes you need it again to display a number of lines, just like any paragraph. And basically the paragraph tells the browser that I should start on a new line and I should end, so anything that comes after me again will be on a new line. So basically anything here, and then the content of the paragraph will be on separate lines. Also, this line will be on a separate line. That means there will be a line break. So as you're seeing the pattern, HTML is really very simple. It's made up of elements or tags, and these elements tell the browser what you want, the instructions that you want. So in order to get better and more proficient in HTML, you simply learn the different tags, and there are many references out there. One of them is W3 Schools. Check it out, Google it, and you will find this nice website that gives you a list of all available tags. Another important construct of HTML is the attribute. So if I'm using an element called A, this element, A stands for anchor, is the element that I use to create hyperlinks. If I want to use to create a hyperlink, the label will be here, the text. So this is the label that people click, okay? But what happens when they click? I need to tell the browser. For that, the element alone is not enough. The element is telling the browser, hey, give me a hyperlink. So in order to tell what happens when you click the link, I need what we call an attribute. An attribute is basically something that goes inside the element and gives additional information and instruction. In this case, a hyperlink or a hypertext reference. So let's say I want to go to hct.ac.ae or any other page that can be available in the same folder as this page. So for example, demo.html. So this is an attribute, and the syntax for an attribute is the following: the attribute name followed by an equal sign, and then what you want this attribute value to be inside double quotes. You can use single quotes, you can use double quotes. I personally prefer double quotes. Make sure again that you open and you close these double quotes. An element may have 0, 1 or more attributes. So again, I'm gonna use here href. I will say, let's say google.com, and I will tell the browser to open. So when you click the link on the web page, I'm going to tell the browser to open it in a new window or a new tab. So I will use the target attribute equals, again, open and close the double quote underscore blank. So let's go back to what I said before. If you want to get better and more proficient in HTML, you learn the tags, but also you need to know the attributes that are available with each tag. You don't have to memorize this stuff. There are a lot of references out there. All you need to know is how to use it and apply it. I'm going to cover one more element in this video, which is the IMG element. Can you guess from the name? It's the image. It allows it gives the instruction to the browser to display an image on the page. It's an empty element. That means that's it, it's done. But of course, if you look at this, it doesn't have enough information, right? So which picture do I display? Well, we need attributes. So again, whenever some information is missing, we provide them in the form of attributes. So it has an attribute called source, src, equal, double quote, the value, again, white space doesn't count here. So the value of the source is basically the name and the location of the picture that you want to display. So let's say I have car.jpg. This assumes that this file called car.jpg is in the same folder where the web page or the HTML file is. Also, maybe this file is somewhere else. So let's say it's in a folder called images, and then inside this folder there's the file. Or maybe it's a picture online. So http sameraudi.com. Let's say I have on my website a folder called images, and inside it I have car.jpg. So to summarize, HTML is a very easy language. It's made up of tags or elements. The less than and the greater than signs delimit the element name. So they tell the browser this is the element. And elements may or may not have one or more attributes. So an example of attributes. Okay? So this is it for this quick reference. Again, check out W3 Schools for a full reference on these tags and attributes. Thank you.